Terminator 2 wasn't totally joyless, nor should be Terminator 3. Putting in sounds and music to make it more disturbing. Michael Scott from The Office. Then the butt of all the jokes shows up, so this was a big deal. Boy, does that improve his intro. She still tells him to drop dead, but then he just kind of stares down. John Connor's freaked out, and then it cuts to the TX. Now, I moved the TX coming out of the rubble, which I'll explain later when I get into the whole chase scene. And, you know, it's... she's angry. Again, just adding some music for drama and getting rid of the joke. Another one of the jokes I took out was him saying relax and looking kind of funny.
Relax.
Look, I like Schwarzenegger. The delivery there it's pure comedy gold, but again, just trying to make him less of the butt of the jokes. I've got him saying relax the first time, but not the second time. It makes him look less like an angry dad and more like an unfeeling robot. So another change to music that just kind of had to happen was the background music in the gas station. It's a song that was made especially for making Terminator 3 funny. The song's ridiculous, it's called Funky Man, and it's just... That funky man!
Hi. Come on.
I mean, as stupid of a song as it is, I think it's awesome. I used to listen to it in my car. In order to bring the comedy down, I added the Gorillaz song, Latin Simone, in the background, as if it's playing on the radio there. Now, some of you might not agree with this. I left in Terminator saying, talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand.
I know some people think that's one of the low points of the movie. I couldn't agree more if all the other jokes were there. But all the other jokes were not things that the Terminator would have done anyway. Marking a woman's inappropriately dressed, getting upset and yelling relax, physically talking to somebody's hand because he told him to. Those are not things that a Terminator's gonna do. But he does assimilate more human characteristics, so this joke makes sense. And like I said, you don't want your Terminator movie to be completely joyless. But being that I took out the Funky Man song, it's not as overplayed. I also had to add in my own sound effects because I took out all the background noise.
Talk to the hand.
This thing where she jumps out, that's kind of funny, but it's also really indicative of her character. She's not scared of these guys. But I did take out him holding her up in the air. Just cut straight to him throwing her back into the tank. Just a little less goofy. Moving right along, adding some screeching and gore sounds to this part where blood gets thrown on the thing. Originally... I was gonna make this quick, but I forgot how bad it was originally. So there's a chainsaw sound, and then him screaming, and then there's blood. I don't know what's happening. There's a chainsaw sound when it's just on his face. Is he seeing a woman with a chainsaw hand, and that's his face? Anyway, cut that down, put in more gore, and one of those high-pitched T-1000 noises for the morphing. So simple. Moving on. Once it gets in around here, I started changing a lot of the John Connor stuff to be less funny, but I'm gonna do a whole video on John Connor. Right now, this one's just all about the jokes. Like when the Terminator gets shot in the face and spits out a bullet. Now, shockingly, they really wanted to goof this one up. Not only does he spit a bullet out, and not only does he work the bullet around in his jaws first, he catches the bullet in his mouth. And in slow motion, you could see his cheek puff out. Why would you do that? I don't even know if that would physically happen if somebody did catch a bullet in their teeth. Okay, she shoots him in the mouth. He's got like a spark coming out of his lips and his cheeks poofed up. All that had to get photoshopped out. Of course, I got rid of him chewing on the bullet. I got rid of him spitting it out. I just fixed a couple of those frames. Gun flare, a little bit of blood splatter on his cheek as if it's ricocheting, a little bit of blood. In my cut, it just ricocheted off his cheekbone. And that's all she needs for realizing that she's in trouble, is that she just shot a guy point blank in the face and he survived. Without a joke, it just cements the whole moment down in this dark place where all you're focusing on is her reaction and not the funny joke that just happened. Also taking out him saying, "Don't do that." I took out Dr. Silverman, fan service, didn't need it. Another classic comedy moment is here when he shoots up all the cop cars and does the casualty count. Even though it's one of the cooler images in the thing, again, they used it for another opportunity for jokes. They got, you know, all this chaos and everything, and then it cuts to birds chirping. And then he puts the coffin in there, and that's the scene. There's no music. One of the better images in the whole thing, John Connor popping out of a coffin. All of it's just jokes, and then there's no excitement. Taking into account that this visual right here is a callback to Terminator 2, and last time I showed you that I fixed that, and I just thought it was another good opportunity. That just makes it much more of a Terminator moment. I cut out the car falling apart when he arrives, which meant I also had to add the sound of a car door opening. You can't actually see the door that's opening over there. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be metal that's flapping around. Whatever. Cut out some of this fathering dialogue about biologically appropriate females or whatever. I just took out where he said something about the driving conditions. Just another joke we didn't need. Another thing I just couldn't get rid of was Chris Hardwick. Another quick joke that I took out was the Terminator telling them,
Your levity is good. It relieves tension and the fear of death.
I've just got them kind of being awkward, and then added some music to this cut where the TX walks into the military facility. Originally she just sort of pops in, now there's a little bit more Terminator here where they boot up Skynet. It's Judgment Day. They've been talking about it since the first movie.
Decided our fate in a microsecond.
This is a guy turning on Judgment Day. In the original, again, it was just a little lackluster.
Skynet's fully operational.
It's just a lot of beeping and some computer screens. He hits yes on the computer. Now let's see what it would look like if it was a Terminator movie.
Sir?
This is a change that's really simple and subtle, but I think makes a big difference within the one scene. When they first get to this well-lit bunker, they think that they're in the hub of Skynet, so he unloads his gun to see if there's a threat, and then ventures on inward. Just in order to keep the threat more alive, I cut out the part where he actually fires the gun, so he just tells her to wait, and then just walks in, along with all the darkness that's been put in there. It keeps the scene more mysterious, a little more tense. Got rid of the I'm back. It's really just an exchange between John Connor and the Terminator now. Whether or not you liked him as John Connor, he's a good actor. The amount of emotion that he's putting into this shot right here was just really deflated by the I'm back joke. I basically had to do the same thing here where he tells the TX that she's terminated. But having taken that out, there still needs to be something there. So I slowed down this shot of his face and had the light kind of consume him. It's a little sad, it's a little sacrificial, and I had to do it in layers to make sure that his face lights up first. Full-on explosion. In this, they actually handled Judgment Day perfectly. It's quiet, it's reverent. It's what made the whole fan edit necessary. It's just a good scene. So that's everything I got to say about taking jokes out and adding drama in. Next video is going to be all about John Connor, who also had some jokes and needed a little more drama, but also needed to be made to be more relatable. Tune in next time for the thing about John Connor.